that's not a great tool as far as Cognos is concerned, but BI and TM1, these two tools are picking up quite fast in the market, and they picked up perhaps very fast in the market, and there's still a lot of demand of people who have the experience of BI as well as TM1. So since you have the database skills, planning needs some skills in the in finance as well, because it needs some kind of functional background with respect to like accounting and budgeting of a particular organization. But BI, basically, if you have the knowledge of the data warehouse, you certainly can go opt for BI as well. So maybe I'll just walk you through like maybe a couple of slides of what BI would be doing and what TM1 perhaps would be doing. Okay.
Okay.
So like as you say, as you see that there's two of the three questions that drive better performance gets answered by business intelligence. When you just seeing that the questions that been asked, this is the tagline of IBM Cognos. Okay, like these three questions: how are we doing? What should we be doing? And why should we be doing? Okay, these three questions are basically answered by the tools of the IBM Cognos family. And those two questions, how are we doing and why are we doing, basically gets answered by the COGNOS BI. So basically, what is how are we doing and what is why are we doing? Basically, how are we doing is when you enter something in the ERP, like say when you go to a sales store or something like that, maybe you go to a Walmart or maybe any other store, wherein you buy something, that piece of information gets recorded in your ERP. Okay, so after a certain point of time, your ERP database is having a lot of data, and you can make some good analytics out of it, and you can add make those data to add value to the management. Okay, like maybe you can check out like, okay, fine, what's my monthly sales? How has it been? How has the sale been doing for the 12 months, like from Jan to December? What was my sales? How much? He can have some visual graphs coming in wherein he'll be saying, okay, fine, how is my sales going? Is it going declining? Is it going upwards? How the graph is moving on? So he can use some such kind of analytics. Such kind of analytics can be made from the business intelligence tool.
Okay.
This will help him to understand like how is the organization doing. Okay. And questions like why it is getting done. So maybe he can go to the details of those things, like say in case from Jan to December he feels like the sales have dropped down in the month of February a lot. Okay. That could be because of the climatic condition, or maybe some kind of new product which has come in the market, or maybe some other different factors. Okay, so this can be understood like by like say for example, if you just analyze your sales, okay, and you analyze your marketing expenses as well. Okay. If you have two reports coming in wherein you can analyze your sales as well as your marketing expenses, what you'll be able to do is like, okay, fine, you'll be able to find like what has been my sales from Jan to December and what has been my marketing expense from Jan to December. Okay, so in case if the marketing was not done aggressively, something like that, or the marketing expenses also went down in the month of February, so you'll be able to analyze like, okay, fine, why this has happened. Okay, so there are a lot of factors impacting the business. Okay. Like the sales, the finance, the marketing, the customer service, IT systems, the operation, product development, the resourcing staff as well. So these all things are dependent on each other, to drive better performance. So what the management does is, they analyze the data that has been lying in the ERP, and they understand like, okay, fine, what is happening and what should we be doing, or why should we be doing. Okay.
Yeah.
So it helps. So the business intelligence system, this will help you to provide historical, current, predictive views of the business operation. Like as I said, like, okay, fine, it will give you the the data of the last 4 years, 5 years. It will give you the monthly level data Okay, that will give you some good analytical views of the data and stuff like that. So basically, business intelligence system is predominantly for that purpose. So it's basically called a decision support system, where management can take out their decision from the data that they're viewing. Okay. So now with respect to the IBM Cognos Business Intelligence, okay, the couple of tools which you can be you can use for creating some good reports, like you have some something called as a report studio, something called as an analysis studio, which can be helpful to create the analytical kind of reports. So why are we doing? I mean, we can create some good detailed report out of this report studio. Like, why are we doing? Okay, so you have the analysis studio where you can do a lot of drag and drop, slice and dice kind of a stuff, where the user, I mean, you just give the database kind of a thing, a cube to the user, and the user keeps on slicing, dicing data, tries to view the data in all different format. Just like you have a if you have played with that small cube that comes, the physical cube. What we do is we keep on rolling it round and round. We see that in different dimensions. The same way, the data can be rolled up with different dimensions, different views, different dimensions, and that can be viewed in the reporting and the analysis studio. So that answers the question of the management of why are we doing. Then you have the dashboards and the scorecards coming in, where you prepare some good reports of what have we been doing so far. I mean, how are we doing from the data that is lying in the ERP. Okay, so whatever transactional data that you keep on putting in the ERP, that comes into your BI system, and it gives out a very good analytical picture of what has been happening. Okay. So the questions of how are we doing in the scorecarding thing. So you see that you prepare some good dashboard reports out of the report studio or some analysis studio, and you answer the question of the management. You see that these all of our reports are of the Cognos reports. You see you have some graphs coming in. You have some 3D graph bar graph coming in. Okay. You have a a gauge chart coming in, where it'll tell you like, okay, fine, how much, what's the percentage of the heat map, heat meter or something like that. It's like a temperature meter which comes in the car, similar to that. This is the chart. Okay. So there are a lot of good analytical reports where user can quickly visualize this, and is able to take the decision. And then you have the question of why, which we've been discussing. So creating a lot of reports which is having some data here, like, okay, fine, what has happened. If you are viewing data of the, say, 2010 year, then you can go into the quarter level and see, okay, fine, how has been my the 4 quarters went off. Okay. So you can go to the details of the reports and check it out, like what has been happening. What's the reason basically of these things getting what's of this trend or something like that. So that answers your question of why are we doing. So there's some web-based components within IBM Cognos. Okay, so the latest version that COGNOS Bi has is the 10.2 version. Okay, and it has got a couple of studio, like the Query Studio, Analysis Studio, Report Studio. Okay, it's a web portal basically, and if you have a good database knowledge, you can easily grasp things out when it comes to BI. Okay. So you have a couple of tools within BI which can be learned. So this is a Query Studio, which is the ad hoc reporting tool. This is basically for the end user, wherein you give certain things from the database to the end user, and he uses this tool on just like any it's kind of you've been given the Excel, and you use the Excel quite easily. Okay, so that is for the end user. And this is the Report Studio. This is the developer tool. This is the one you will be using to create your reports and analytics. This is a report viewer. This is basically a viewer wherein you view the report. So not to worry much about the report viewer. Okay. There's Analysis Studio. This is basically used for doing some analysis out of the out of the cube. So this is again the end user tool. Okay. There's Event Studio, wherein which is used for event cycle management, like scheduling some certain things, or basically if something happens, then the report should be viewed, or should be sent to the senior management, something like that. Okay. So that is the thing in the Cognos connection. So that's all about BI. What I would suggest is, like, if you have a good database knowledge, then certainly you can opt for BI. And if you are interested in some functional thing like the planning and budgeting kind of a stuff, then you can opt for TM1. But TM1 in itself is a tool. It's a very not too big, but a small tool.
No, I think this business intelligence is what I'm looking for. I understand, like, the TM1 you're talking about is specific to the financial module, where you do a lot of budgeting and year-end stuff, quarterly stuff. So that integrates with that. So I'm an HR guy. So this BI stuff is what I'm looking for.
All right. Okay, got it. So maybe if you want, I can give you an overview of what TM1 is.
No, I don't think I need that. I understand what TM1 is at a point now where you explain me what BI can do. I can understand what TM1 can also do, which is specific to financial. So I'm not looking into that thing. This BI is thing what I'm looking to. So how do you go about training into this?
See, the training which goes into is would be you'll be going through a couple of studios within this Cognos BI. The studios, which is like the query studio, the analysis studio, these are for the end user, basically for the client who would be using it once the Cognos is deployed in the machine. So that's pretty much a kind of a straightforward studios which you have in Cognos. The other things are, like, you have the report studio, which is a developer tool and very important when it comes to BI. So it's always I mean what we emphasize on is the report studio part, because that is what you will be you will be doing once you step into the BI world. You'll be working a lot of a lot of time you'll be working on the report studio. And then there is one framework manager kind of a model, which is a metadata modeling tool.
Okay,
wherein you will create your entire data model, just like you create some tables, views, and create some joins in SQL or Oracle. Okay, similar to that, you create a layer between the database and the reports. So this layer is called the framework manager. So that's the layer between the database and the report studio.
Okay. So what is the difference between the report studio and this framework you're talking about?
See, framework manager, is like a database. Okay, you can call it as a database kind of a thing. But it is not actually an actual database, but it's just like a wrapper, a kind of a transparent. You can say that it's a a door wherein something happening in the backend, and report studio is not aware of what is happening in the backend. So it's kind of a communicator between the messenger between the database and the report studio. Okay. That's what framework manager is.
But where does that fit in? When you were showing me the slide, you said there is query.
That is a client tool, and it doesn't sits in the portal. It doesn't comes in the portal as was showing you. So it doesn't comes in the portal, but it is good to have the knowledge of a framework manager. Since you have a good knowledge of database technologies, it will be easy for you to learn framework manager as well.
Okay. So is it necessary to know a framework manager? Like, if I want to go and implement something, the report studio should be good enough for me to design reports, right? So framework manager is something which DBA does, or is it a developer, the report developer starts to go about creating framework, the wrapper?
See, in an ideal situation where you have a team of Cognos sitting in, you will never go and you'll never be interested with the responsibility of creating framework manager models. Okay. But what happens is, if you have a very small team, then perhaps maybe you'll have to step in and create some framework manager model. But I mean, I've seen like people working on the report studio for for maybe for for a long duration without even bothering about what framework manager is, because it requires I mean, if you want to specialize on framework manager, then you'll be developing the framework manager models. If you want to go and develop some good reports out of the report studio, so you can specialize on report studio as well. Okay, but right now there's a lot of demand of people who wants to learn report studio, which is yeah.
Okay, so how do we go about getting trained in this then?
So the training would be like we'll be having this online certainly, and we'll be picking up the studios within this. So we'll start off with the main studio of report studio. Okay, we'll start off with the basics, like how to create some simple reports, how to create what are the different visualization within the report studio, what are different types of reports that you can create within report studio. Then slowly as you can, yeah.
So the training will be as of that you will just show us, or we will be also given to do it simultaneously, like we can set it up. And we set the software in our system, like any free trial versions are there, which IBM has.
There are trial version. So what happens is, like, I first explain you like what the feature is, okay, and then once I'm done with that, then you have to practice it out. Once you have that installed in your machine, and I explain you like what are these are the steps to do it, and we'll be giving you these steps. We'll be giving you the guide of how to do those things. Okay. There'll be list of tasks which would be defined for you, like like creating simple reports, creating some advanced report and stuff like that. So those tasks will be listed out, and there'll be exercises within the guide. Okay. So I have a guide which is of
You'll also send out like instruction how to install that, right? I think you have to install the database also for this.
Yes, you'll have to install the database as well.
Okay. So which database you use?
Install the SQL Server.
SQL Server.
The Microsoft SQL, yeah. Microsoft SQL Server would be good.
Okay.
Okay.
So the training is like a similar thing what we are doing. It's through GoToMeeting, like you join a call and you go through that.
Yes, I'll be joining the GoToMeeting, and then maybe sharing my screen and showing you what things I'm doing, and what are the emphasis of those things. And you have any doubts, we'll be solving it. We'll be having some Q&A sessions as well. Solving doubts.
Is it like a one-to-one training, or there'll be like a lot of other people too, right?
It would depend on if there are other people in the same slot. If they're not, then probably you'll be the only person who will be getting trained. There are a couple of trainings which I'm taking this. There are 2 or 3 people, and there are a couple of other trainings wherein only one person is there. So yeah.
Okay. So today something started, right? So that was a team one which started today. I saw something I had inquired 2 days back, and they had sent me that there is a session starting today, some training.
Yeah, would be there. A lot of training starts every day.
So every day. Okay.
It depends on the if the students
so what is the duration of the training?
It would be go around 30-35 hours. Maybe
30-35 hours.
Yeah.
And that will span over how long? Like you'll have everyday training, or?
Yeah, we can have every day, or you can just come on the weekends, and you can have the sessions on the weekends, or couple of where you put in? Where are you from?
I'm actually in States, but I would actually like my wife to attend this. So she is in India.
All right.
So yeah, I'll work that out. I'll work that out how to attend that. But if you can send me the details about the payment and what are the upcoming classes, and actually in little more detail what will be the content of the training.
Okay, no issues. Maybe I'll ask Jana to give you the contents and the payment information as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And very much the training will be like this itself, right? Over the phone and through the GoToMeeting, right?
Correct. That's the only way.
Okay, yeah. So I'll need to install everything once.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this is okay to me, Ravi. So I know
Yeah.
what it is. If you
Okay.
can send me the details, I'll definitely evaluate it and let you guys know when I'm ready for
Okay. No
that.
issues. No issues. No issues.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Dan. Yeah.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
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 Yeah, Vivek. Abhilash. Abhilash. Hello.